Today's episode is brought to you by True Classic Tees. Come on, man. You know they make the clothing, shirts, sweatshirts, sweatpants for the casual person, the one that wants to be comfy, the one that wants to have a little bit of an athletic build up top, but have a little room to play in the midsection. Oh, you see this hoodie? It's one of theirs. Shout out to True Classic Tees, man. This is what they do for you, man. They create that type of comfort, that type of loungewear that you need when you're watching sports, when you're kicking it with your family and friends, or you just want to get lost. All right, but the thing that I also love when we talk True Classic Tees is the fact that we have a promo code, and that code is MOATS. You use that, you get 25% off of your purchase at trueclassictees.com. Like I said, man, you can't go wrong with them, man. They have a plethora of options, though, from hoodies, sweatpants, long sleeve t-shirts, short sleeve t-shirts, shorts. Check them out. True Classic Tees. Salute them.
Gorilla mode. Having a good D is cool, but even a historic one don't matter yesterday. Unless the Steelers offense can build to compete in shootout style games, we won't stand a chance in the AFC going through Mahomes.
Oh, we on the panic train this morning. All right. Or this afternoon. That's cool, man. I look at it like this, man. When you look at that Eagles defense, you look at them and what were they not executing? You talk about some of the calls, you talk about some of the lack of pressure. It's no surprise when you talk about how teams have success offensively when they're able to stay on schedule, have third and shorts, fourth and shorts, when they're able to run the ball on schedule, when they're able to drop back, play action pass, do all that stuff. Yeah, you're going to be able to score 30-something points a game. And when you look at both of those teams, neither one of those defenses consistently pressured the quarterback. Neither one of those defenses consistently created just a hostile environment for either quarterback. Even the turnover that happened was more fluke than actually being forced.
Yeah, what the hell happened there?
You know what I mean?
That was like Mahomes' fumble
absolutely.
from the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, so when I think of those two defenses, I don't think that was a representation of good defense being played, because that's not what you do when you're talking about executing good defense. But at the same time, that is the difference when you're talking about those particular offenses. Mahomes is an outlier. So we've spoken on that. So you know what he's going to be able to do regardless of what's around him. You're not going to win a shootout versus Mahomes. The way you beat Mahomes is keep him off the field. Cincinnati Bengals, every time they beat Mahomes, that's the recipe. When you look at the teams where the times where Mahomes has lost, it's been them doing what? Keeping him off. Philadelphia in the first half, why were they up double-digit points? It wasn't that they were outscoring and just racing. Nah, they was keeping Mahomes off the field. That was the highlight. Man, Mahomes only been on the field, I think it was like 10 regular minutes. Yeah.
Crazy, because the Chiefs scored off that fumble six, and then the Eagles just got the ball right back, and then they started driving again.
Yeah, so it was like, when I look at the Eagles defensively, first half, they were able to get some pressure, but it still wasn't enough of it. And I think that's the difference. I thought that the Chiefs' offensive line blocked a lot better, but I also thought they had a good game plan. They didn't do a ton of let's hurry up and drop back, and put this quarterback in harm's way. It was quick release. It was misdirection. And then when they ran the ball,
of what they did against the Bucs.
Absolutely. So you have to be able to adjust on the fly. And defensively, I thought that Philly was not able to adjust to that quick passing attack. And then because Kansas City also understands some of the man principles that they play on the back end for Philly and how they will pass stuff, you look at the Darius Slay touchdown that was given up. You look at the other touchdown for the go-ahead in the back corner on the left side.
They said it was the same thing. Same play, just reversed.
Yeah, they just know it. Hey, because Philly on defense, when you watch them on tape, they pass the fast motion because they're always in man. So to keep these corners from having to chase the receiver across the field, you pass it. But when you're passing it, now your responsibility changed. So if that guy doesn't fully commit, now you got a guy that's not accounted for. So typically the way that you've done it in the past is you wait till a guy crosses the center. But at this level, these dudes playing at a high end. And most of the time, when a guy takes off fast, he's going right now. It's called a jet motion. But in that particular instance, and shout out to Andy Reid. Yeah, shout out to Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy. That's called scouting. That's called anticipating, not playing reactionary. We know what you're going to do, so we're trying to scheme it up to get you in that scenario. Now, we could take that as a shot at Canada if you want to as well, because I know that's the other narrative that people are going to go with. But once again, we're talking about Andy freaking Reid and Eric Bieniemy. These aren't no slouches. These are two of the or in terms of Andy Reid, one of the best to ever do it. And Eric Bieniemy is one of those guys that's getting a lot of hype as well. So when I think of how they were attacking those teams, it's like, man, defensively, these are some of the challenges, but you can still stop that. That was already proven. But then also schematically, offensively, you can see the difference between just calling calls and actually trying to bait them into something. And that's the difference between a guy like Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy. But that's the reason why those guys are who they are as well. So, yeah, that's something that we should be striving to get to. And I don't think that it's something that's too far off either. But at the same time, you can just see the difference of levels right now. And we talked about that throughout the season too, though.
I have a lot of things.
I'm ready to tap in, man. You know I'm ready to tap in.
So, in reference to...
Let's tap in,
playing
man.
a shootout against Mahomes.
Yeah.
And winning.
Mm-hmm.
It almost happened.
Mm-hmm.
It almost happened.
Yeah.
I mean, we could get to the call in a little bit, but
yeah.
I feel like, I don't know. Like you said, why are we doing this whole doom and gloom thing right now?
Like, so I'm trying to figure out, bro.
Mahomes played good. There's no doubt he played good. 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
But you look at the yard, he didn't have anything crazy in terms of yardage.
It was a Kenny Pickett line, wasn't it? Efficient as heck. We just didn't get the extra touchdowns at the end of it. It was efficient.
You win the game.
Efficient. Win the game. Make the plays you're supposed to make. Don't turn the ball over. That's what he did. The punt return helped him out immensely, and the fumble recovery by Nick Bolton to the crib helped him out immensely. But outside of that, he did what he was supposed to do. He executed the offense within the framework. Juju, he wasn't bombing to Juju. It was short to intermediate. Travis Kelce, it wasn't bombs to Kelce. Even the touchdown pass, it was still a 15.
No, after that first series,
you know what I mean?
Kelce was a non-factor.
Right. So it's like you watch how they played the game. It was efficient, and Isaiah Pacheco.
Yeah.
Running the ball, right?
What do you have, 70 yards?
Run the
Mahomes had a
ball.
couple on the ground, too.
He had that long, the 15,
I think he had
20
40 or
yards at the end,
50
right?
total.
Yeah. But, like, that's kind of how I look at it. It's like, man, that's not an invincible team. But at the same time, when you're playing a team like that, your margin for error is very small. Regardless if you're trying to play a shootout with them or if you're trying to play just straight up defense and keep it a low scoring game. That's a tough team, but that's why they are who they are. It's no, like, we look at that Chiefs team and their performance in automatic. It always comes off like we think that that's like the norm. That's not a norm. You're not facing that type of offense, not facing that type of team, that type of coaching every week. It's like, man, if you got to deal with that in the AFC Championship, okay, cool. Cross that bridge when you get there. But if you panicking now, man, you ain't going to even get that opportunity to taste, to see what that's like.
No, I don't think there's anything to panic about.
Man.
I think we can have a really nice offense to keep up with a team like the Chiefs or the Bengals.
Absolutely.
Because I think we proved that as the second half of the season
Absolutely.
went on. It's just we got to clean up some stuff. You expect that to happen with Pickett going into his second year. And I feel like the defense is going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the Eagles' defense was good going into this game. Yeah. It could just be they had a bad game and they didn't make the adjustments that you were talking about. Because I think we're going to have that type of talent, depending on what we do in free agency with the draft going into next season.
Yeah.